Hi, so I'm Tom Stone from Trust Systems. I'm Technical Director here. And I'm joined today by Glenn from Node 4. We're going to have a chat around SD-WAN. From you touched on some of the bandwidth constraints and things like that at sites. Do you build into your solutions around the ability to, and it's one of the things that comes out of SD-WAN, the ability to move traffic around dynamically between some of the links? Does your solution offer that functionality?
Yeah, so I guess one of the core functions of SD-WAN is being able to aggregate all of the connectivity and then make those intelligent load balancing decisions based on, not just whether a circuit's available, but also whether it's performing as well. We also build in the quality of service and, traffic shaping, policing, all these traffic management capabilities to make sure that, the SD-WAN is really working for the customer and their applications and services, to make sure that they have the availability and the bandwidth that they need using the right kind of circuit to get to the destination that they're going to as well.
And from a security point of view, so one of the things that raises a concern with some of our customers is that a traditional kind of model is I've built an MPLS network, I might have some Ethernet, some DSL connectivity, all in a private network that pulls back to a central point for our internet breakout. The beauty of that is from a security standpoint, we've only got one ingress egress point to the network, and we secure that. Once we start to look at this kind of local breakout, and we break down these individual sites where you can get access to the internet from there, that potentially brings it as another kind of attack vector for inbound security threats. What sort of overlays in terms of the technology and how is that managed? How do you control those? Because suddenly you're managing multiple points rather than just a single point.
Yeah, it's absolutely a risk that needs to be considered, and there's risks like that with the SD-WAN, but also just to touch on the MPLS for a second again, one of the inherent problems with MPLS is it provides any-to-any connectivity pretty much unrestricted, and there's not really a lot of security between branch sites. With SD-WAN, you can kind of do away with that because a lot of the solutions do have security built into them, but to your other point as well, you are bringing on internet services at nearly every branch in a lot of scenarios, and it's how you secure that. And the way that we approach that is we deploy an SD-WAN technology that has security, advanced security built natively into the appliance and the platform. And it's all about the consistency. The way that you make sure that your security posture is consistent across all those branches is using those repeatable profiles for that security policy and configuration, and making sure that that's pushed out across every branch to make sure that everywhere is consistent and there's no gaps or holes, because you're only as kind of strong as your weakest point. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So sort of that enhanced layer of security there is actually saying in a standard MPLS, every branch can talk to every branch, and there's no real control until you get to the edge. But what you're saying is by moving that control down to the branch, you've got the ability then to start being really granular on your controls and what can talk to what, which I suppose is key from a we don't know what is happening at that branch. If you've got 100 sites, what's the controls in place for those sites and how you lock that down. So that's interesting. And the some of the other technologies that come along with SD-WAN, is there any other features sort of I see there's vendors out there in the marketplace that do sort of compression, bandwidth acceleration, other features that are built in there. What other features kind of come as part of the sort of Node 4 solution?
So as part of the Node 4 solution, you get the core SD-WAN. You also get the advanced security, which is built into the same platform, like I say. You get the centralized management platform, that single pane of glass for control, configuration, but also analytics and logging and reporting as well. Also, we can do things like automation through that central point and through all the APIs through there. So that's really powerful. And also there are appliances available that will do caching. They'll do local site caching and acceleration. And it's just how you layer on further security services as well. Because with the technology we use, you can build a fabric of integrations with other technologies. So beyond the core fundamentals of the SD-WAN product, there's other areas you can move into that all integrate in a seamless way to deliver a really compelling solution.
Perfect, thank you. And one of the things that we sort of pride ourselves in with Trust is around kind of the scale and the multi-site deployment. One thing that we've got a bit of a name for ourselves in is scaling up and deploying to hundreds of sites. For retailers, the one advantage of dealing with retail customers is that you create a template at your site and then repeat it multiple times. What's the kind of, in terms of deployment and bringing this kind of SD-WAN solution up together, what's the sort of process? Does it get as good as a kind of zero touch type deployment, or is there a bit you need to do in advance there?
Yeah, so when we've deployed it, we send the hardware, in some cases directly to the customer if they want to do the installation straight from the factory. There's nothing on there whatsoever, and we plug that into the connectivity. It gets an IP address and it talks out to the internet, and at that point we can hook it into that management platform and push all those repeatable templates from there. So yeah, from a customer point of view, if they're doing the install, very straightforward. If we put boots on the ground and do the installs, again, it's once you've got those initial templates really nailed down, you can get to that zero touch provisioning and really simplified deployment that you can do at scale, which, like you mentioned, is important in distributed retail and things like that.
Yeah, and standardization and things like that, and making sure that if we're going back to the hardware failure and you're going to swap it out, I guess as long as if it's all templated and everything like that, just makes it really simple to keep all that configuration standard. And yeah, so that's great, Glenn. Thanks for your insight. Appreciate you sharing some of the Node 4 solutions. If anyone would like to have a chat with us more about SD-WAN or any other topics that we've covered today, or in fact any kind of networking wireless that Trust Systems offer, then please get in touch.